Local bar that has a history of violence will keep its liquor license. The Fitchburg City Council voted tonight to renew Monkey Shine's Bar and Grill's license. The vote was 4-3. Tonight, owner Corey McMahon talked before the council about his improvement plan. Part of that is closing at 11 p.m., which many alders supported. Fitchburg's mayor said the license is approved for now, and the council will monitor the progress.
Public safety is a top priority in the city of Fitchburg. In the event the violation and public safety concern continue, I plan to direct the staff to investigate the potential for future enforcement action, which, if appropriate, will come back to the council for revocation.
Now, in May, there was a fatal stabbing in the parking lot of that bar. Since 2021, police have responded to 2 shots fired investigations and another stabbing at Monkey Shine's.